Peter, hey, good morning. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, good morning.
So, super excited to talk to you. Want to learn a little bit more about Dynanet, of course, and I also want to learn a little bit more about you. What can you tell us about Dynanet? Tell us where you guys are at, what you're up to.
Sure. Well, Dynanet was founded in the mid 90s by our president and CEO, Sean P.A. He started Dynanet basically to try to help support the government with IT services support. And throughout the mid 90s, early 2000s, we were really just doing anything IT related to help support those federal contracts. Then starting mid 2000s and then, late 2000 teens, we started to get large prime contracts, really focused on automation, cloud migration, application development, and systems engineering. I came on board at Dynanet about 5 years ago, and my main goal was to not only grow our existing contracts and the type of work we do, but also to get us into new federal markets. So when I came on board, I was able to get us prime contracts at NASA, at HHS OIG, again, working with cool tools and technologies like RPA, robotics process automation, really helping to try to drive the federal government to the more modern technology stacks, the more secure technologies that a lot of our industry partners are using today.
Awesome. So one of the things I also learned, and I know this is coming out with your new website, is kind of a new slogan: people, process, and technology. Where did that come from?
That was a brainchild of a few of the leadership team. So one day we were talking about what type of services we wanted to provide, but what was the essence behind those services, and really was people, processes, and technology. So when we came up with that slogan, it was the culmination of those three things really helping to drive forward what we do and what we want to focus on. And people is first for a reason. If it isn't the people that we have supporting Dynanet, supporting our customers, then we wouldn't have anything. So really, that's kind of how it all came about, and what we do every single day, whether it's existing contracts or going for new contracts. That's the first things that we really try to focus on.
That's awesome. And I understand that you are a CMMI shop, right? So could you tell us a little bit more about what that means, and also the impact that has on, let's say, talent, people that are considering a role or career with Dynanet, and the impact that has on them as well?
Yeah, so we're CMMI Dev level 5 and CMMI Services level 3. We're actually the first small business in the United States to receive the CMMI Dev level 5 accreditation. And really what that shows is our focus on making sure that the processes that we have both internally as well as supporting our customers are top notch, whether it's billing, whether it's making sure that the folks on the ground have good communication flows with our customers, with our back office. Obviously, of course, internal communication coordination across executive leadership, all the way to the folks that are on our projects. That CMMI certification really shows that we're not just doing things haphazardly. We have a rigorous process behind everything we do to make sure that we provide the top-notch services for our customers and for the federal government.
All right, that makes a lot of great sense. Yeah, appreciate that. And talking a little bit more about some of the contracts or customers that you all support, I think there's a notion that most government contractors support the defense community, but I'd say that's not that's not 100% entirely accurate when it comes to Dynanet.
So we're the opposite of that. So the majority of our work is actually federal civilian markets. So HHS, OIG, NASA, OPM, GSA, DHS. So we have a DoD contract, Department of the Defense contract, but we also have several other contracts supporting the federal civilian agencies. And those missions are just as important as our defense mission as well. Really making sure that the federal government is able to operate efficiently. Again, taking those legacy technologies, those mainframe technologies from the 80s and 90s, and modernizing them so our government customers can use mobile devices, can have interactive web pages. Human-centered design, HCD, is all the craze now in the IT world, not only for industry, but for government, really taking those websites and modernizing them to make sure that they are interactive with the users that use them. It doesn't have to be a website or an application or a system that's designed for the DoD. It can be designed for, launching rockets up into space, or making sure that the food that we put on our table every single day is safe.
Awesome. So as far as growth plans moving ahead with regards to these contracts and supporting, tell us a little bit about some of the functional areas, the things that you all are looking for.
Yeah, so growth is the name of the game. I am the Chief Technology Officer here at Dynanet, but second to none, my responsibility is to grow the company, is to grow our contracts, and we are always looking to do that. Luckily, some of our larger contracts that we're prime on, they do have lots of area for growth, and they do have the mechanisms and the abilities to scale and to grow with our customers. As more customer needs come in, we can modify the contract or add to the contract, and we can get rolling on new projects. So that's always a plus when you look for government contracts. And then when it comes to new customers, new contracts, that's what we're always doing as well. We actually had a business development meeting last week back at Dynanet headquarters. Got the leadership team together, talked about what opportunities are out there, what opportunities we're tracking, both in our current customer space as well as new customer space. And also the name of the game, being a small company, is partnering. Not only partnering with the huge, large companies, but also partnering with other small companies and mid-sized companies to kind of join forces and take down some of those larger contracts. So we're always looking to grow. Again, what I mentioned earlier in terms of our capability suite, cloud modernization, application development, automation not only with the DevSecOps or the DevOps tool suite for automating development processes, but also automating workflows. So I mentioned RPA, robotics process automation. RPA is taking bots that we develop and manual processes, putting them together and automating those manual processes so the federal government can work more efficiently and focus their time on more high value work. So that's the type of space that Dynanet's in. That's the type of space that we're looking to grow.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think one of the great things about the government contracting space, right, is that there's a lot of opportunity, in one company. You're not just confined to one particular program or contract. If that starts to wind down, or if somebody loses interest, there typically are multiple contracts and multiple areas of work across your entire portfolio that somebody could consider and move over to. So rather than losing an employee to a competitor or to another organization, you might be able to just shift them over, or they could shift over and pursue another passion area of theirs as well. So I think that's a pretty cool component of the government contracting space that not everybody gives thought to.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because really that's something that we pride ourselves on, is that making sure that our employees know that there are lots and lots of opportunities internal to Dynanet. Sherry Brown, who's our marketing director, she puts out a monthly newsletter letting folks know about our current openings and what's going on, along with opportunities for training, opportunities for professional development, that if our employees take advantage of those, and quite often a lot of those will be paid for and funded by Dynanet. It won't have to come out of their own pocket. They will have other opportunities to grow and advance in their career, or even take a completely different path. I've had several employees over the past few years that I've been here who started off in one lane. Maybe it's a technical lane, whether they're a developer or systems engineer, and they said, hey, I want to try to go more towards the business analyst route. I want to understand and analyze some of the use cases for the technologies we're building and designing for the government, and how we can use them more efficiently. We said, sure, let's figure out a path to do that. Obviously, from your current project work support standpoint, we can't let that falter. Obviously, that's number one. But as we can try to shift you to potentially another career path within Dynanet, we'll backfill you and then give you another opportunity. So that's something that we pride ourselves on. That's something that with our project managers and our program managers, the leadership team is talking to them almost on a daily basis, if not weekly basis, and just make sure that folks know about these other opportunities out there. And also for our program managers and project managers, when they see areas of growth on their projects themselves, is they start internally. They say, who could fill these new positions? Who could fill these new opportunities that are on the project today? And then if we do have to go out and recruit new talent, we can do that. But absolutely, that's one of the key stakeholders of our company.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great to hear. So with that being said, when somebody joins the team, right? So you're adding new talent. What's it like working for Dynanet?
So the first thing that we always say, and this again started with Sean PA, our founder, is you're joining the Dynanet family. And I know that a lot of people say that around the Beltway or around the country when you join a company. But truly at Dynanet, this is a family. Family is first, especially when it comes to people with young families, people just starting off. If you have to go on vacations, we always make sure that, we get the work done, but family is of the utmost importance to us. And that's why we say you're joining the Dynanet family. You're not just joining the Dynanet team or the Dynanet corporation. Once you kind of get ingrained into the Dynanet family and the Dynanet way of things, it really is just full transparency. I mean, any employee in our company can send an email to the CEO and president at any given time, and he will respond. He will meet with them if that's what the request requires. Our leadership team is awesome. We brought on Suzanne Camara, who is really starting to unify a lot of our operations, and she's getting out there and talking to a bunch of our project teams, understanding what they're doing, understanding if there are needs that are out there. As I mentioned, Sherry Brown earlier, with the communication strategies and tactics that she has, a lot of people get that sense of welcomeness, of ownership of the company, even though you might be on a project supporting a completely different customer than another person at Dynanet. Everybody kind of has that sense of unity. And then lastly about the Dynanet Corporation is opportunity. When you come aboard to Dynanet, you are not pigeonholed whatsoever. As a matter of fact, probably in the interview process, we will talk to you about other opportunities that you could potentially go for when you come on board. So that really is one of the things that we like to try to focus on and let people know when they join the Dynanet family, all the opportunities that they have at their fingertips.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good. So lastly, right, really interesting market that we're in, coming out of a pandemic, the whole, you got some people that want to work remotely, and they've been given promises of working remotely and not having to battle DC Beltway traffic. But on the flip side, we're starting to see, the economy kind of crumble down, and we're seeing a lot of tech companies that are even laying off, especially in the crypto space. So why would now be a great time to join Dynanet?
So there is that flexibility. A lot of our contracts still have telework options. And even if they do have some sort of requirement to try to be in the office, right now, the federal government isn't going back to the office yet. They're making plans. There's stages that they have to meet in order to get back in the office. And even when they do get back in, it might only be 1 or 2 days a week. But we still have that high level of work flexibility for people who might not necessarily want to either relocate to the DC, Northern Virginia area, or who, like you said, don't want to battle the crazy DC, Northern Virginia, Maryland traffic. And then secondarily is opportunity. I mean, we have tons and tons of open opportunities right now that we're ready to start ASAP, fully funded recs that people can apply for and start the interview process, potentially even that day that they apply. And it's a lot of really cool, fun work. A lot of the space that we're in right now and the contracts that we support with the government are all about modernization. I know that's kind of been the theme of this talk that we've had today, but the government really needs to try to get out of some of these legacy systems and applications that they have. And they're looking to move towards the cloud capabilities, the mobile capabilities, increasing their cybersecurity posture. We're actually going after a contract right now that we're on a team for $1.4 billion with a B. And Dynanet will have a major stake in that contract for an awesome customer for the federal government, doing very, very mission critical, important work to help protect our country. That is not in the DoD space. It's not in the defense space. So I tell people now more than ever is a great time to join Dynanet and apply today.
Awesome. And with some of your requirements, all of your requirements, or none of your requirements, what are the clearance requirements on that side? And if somebody does not have a clearance, are you able to help them obtain one?
Great question. 100%, all of the above. So we have contracts where you don't need any clearance at all. It's just a simple background check and then you can get started, all the way to intel programs that you're going to have a very high level of security clearance. And you can either come with that security clearance if you have one, and then we can hold it for you as a company, or we can help you through the process of getting a security clearance and getting cleared. We have a wonderful FSO on staff she's one of the best in the business, that works with our customer along with our employees to make sure that each process and each phase of getting your security clearance, whether that's a secret clearance, a top secret clearance, or a TSSCI, full scope poly, she will walk you through it to make sure that everything is there of what you need. But no, you do not have to have a clearance coming in, and not all of our contracts that we have require top level clearances.
Awesome, Peter. So it's been great chatting with you. Really appreciate your time this morning. I learned a lot of great stuff about Dynanet that I was unaware of. So this has been a huge bonus and benefit for me. For those that are interested in Dynanet, you can go to scuttlegov.com/Dynanet or directly to their website at Dynanet.